All right, so now we're looking at the trigonometric graphs, and we started looking at this a little bit in class, and now we're going to discuss it in more detail. So we know that for any sort of angle, we always have, so this angle s plus 2 pi. So we've got angle s and then another 2 pi around it. So coming out to look at this one, what we're really looking at is a coterminal angle with s. And so the sine value for s or s plus 2 pi is going to be the same. So for this s here, I would have whatever the y coordinate is divided by the hypotenuse, the y coordinate divided by the hypotenuse. If we go around many, many times, in this case our hypotenuse is 1, so we're going to end up with just the y coordinate. And all of those would end up simplifying to give us the same ratio. So what we see because of that no matter how many times we go around 2 pi, we always get back to the same value. We call that a periodic function. So a function is periodic if I add some period, in this case 2 pi for sine and cosine, we get the same value as the original. So that's periodic. So here we're going to look at some pictures and determine if they're periodic. So what I see is the same shape appears to be repeating over and over again. And I want to look for the distance between repeats. So I can see that I have zeros at -1, 2, 5. So I'm coming back to a 0 every 3 units. So in this case, this first function, yes, it's periodic. So yes, periodic. And the period is 3. So that means when I go 3 units, I've completed a full cycle. Notice it doesn't matter where I start counting from. So I could say from 2 to 5, we've completed a full cycle, but I could also say from 1 over to 4, I've completed a full cycle. So going from 2 to 5, I would say that my cycle is looking at a full up, across, down. But going from 1 to 4, I could say a full cycle goes down, up, across. And then I repeat, down, up, across. So period just tells me how long it takes before I start repeating. Okay, so let's look at one more periodic question before we move into our sine and cosine. So part of the graph of f has period 2. So I want a graph from -4 to 4. So this is going to be my shape that's going to keep repeating. So I know that I'm going to start here, and I've got my full shape is here. So I'm going to continue over. I know that at 3, I should have a peak that should be at the same level. And at 4, I'm going to end up back down here. What I really want to do is I want to make a copy of this shape. So I'm going to do that for myself. And then I'm actually going to use my tools, because I'm doing this digitally, to let me copy that and then paste it. So now I can take this and slide it over, and I can do that for another one. And now I'm going to match it up here and do one more and match it over here. So across my period, I'm repeating my shape over and over again.